Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we got something a little bit different. I have a buddy who has a quad or four-wheeler that has a few issues. Today we're going to fix them, so follow along. Okay, here's today's victim. It's a 2004 Yamaha Raptor 350. It has a leaky carburetor, and the rear tires are wore out, kind of go flat, and he just wants me to do an oil change on top of that. So what I'm going to do first is dive into the carburetor, try to get it off, get it cleaned up and everything, and while I've got it in carb dip, getting everything cleaned up out of it, all the junk out of it and stuff, and then we'll tackle these tires. So let's move on. Okay, as you can see, we got the seat off. First thing to come out is the air box. I've already screwed up the back carburetor. I'm going to take these two screws out. Back air box. Right there. Get forward. Get there in the back. There we go. Let's clear it from the front first. There we go. So we got that out. Filter don't look too bad. Might need a little bit of cleaning. Okay, so what we have here is clamp holds this, holds the carburetor into the boot, the intake boot. So we have to loosen that. We have to unhook the choke enricher, the throttle cable, and those kind of things. So we'll come back here shortly after I get all that taken care of. As you can see, I've had to take the side cover off so I could get to the screw that holds the clamp tight from the intake boot to the carburetor. I was kind of hoping I wasn't going to have to do it, but you know, it happens. So now I should be able to get into there a little bit better and get that out. Alright, I went ahead and took the front fenders and the fuel tank off. I know there's people out there who are going to say it wasn't necessary to take those off, and they're right, it wasn't, but it does make it easier for me to get in there and get the throttle cable and everything unhooked. Just easier to see it, get my hands on it. If you have the tank in the way, it just makes working in the spaces a lot tighter. So I went ahead and took the tank and the fenders off just to make it easier. So let's just go ahead and move on. Okay, now that we've got our carburetor and cleaner and everything, we're going to start working on the tires. And like I think I said earlier, these are the original tires. I may not have said that, but they're wore out. Almost none of the lugs are left. They got two plugs in them pretty much everywhere, and so they've seen better days. They've certainly, my buddy certainly got his money's worth out of them. So what we're going to do now, start taking them off. Four lug nuts, 4 washers, nothing to it. So I got to take the valve stem or valve cores out of them, break these off these wheels, and then I'll show you the other tires here shortly. Okay, as you can see here, I got the first tire off, the old tire off of the wheel. I just tossed it over here off the side. Now, sorry about the mess in here. Here are the new tires. They are Razors, Maxxis Razor. Alright, I got the first new tire back on the wheel. There's the tread of these. And I said the wrong model number or whatever. It's a M932. I don't know where I got the other number from, but that is a bad looking tire now. That is so cool looking. So I'm going to put this on the four-wheeler, grab the other one, and get it changed. Alright, we're back with the carburetor today. It's the next day. I let this sit and soak in chem dip overnight. Wasn't exactly planning on doing that, but had some things happen and I had to leave it overnight. So we're back out here today. Carburetor is good and clean. Got a little bit of the chem dip still on it, but just wipe that off. But it's inside's good and clean. A little bit of sand or something there. So what we're going to do now is start putting it back together. I usually start with check out the tires, the new tires on the ATV now. These tires are quite aggressive. That's from the back, of course. And there's from the side. These tires actually ended up being a little bit taller than the originals. Even though they're both 20-inch tall. I hope this doesn't mess up the handling on this. It shouldn't have too much effect on it, but these are about a ½ inch taller than the other tires were. So once we get the carburetor mounted back on and get the plastics on and stuff, get the oil changed, then we'll take it for a spin. Alright, initially I was going to show trying to put everything back together on the carburetor, but had a few issues trying to get the throttle cable ball in place, and instead of just having a video you guys watching me struggle with it, I went ahead, put it together off camera. Also put the choke in place. Turn it off. So what's left is putting the air box in, fuel tank on, fenders back on, and that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to do that off camera. So when we come back, it'll be pretty well complete, and then we'll show the tuning part, the carburetor. Now I got the air box and fuel tank mounted, and then we're gonna put the fenders on. Okay, so now I got the oil changed and I'm ready to do the first start up. So we're gonna see how close the carburetor is in tune. If it's not really, even if it is fairly close, I'm still going to make the adjustments to try to get it as good as possible. So first thing we need to do, turn the key on and let's see if we can start it. Turning it off. We'll have to let it warm up some more. That way I can get the idle mixtures set with the engine warmed up. Like right now it's dead cold. And of course it's idling, but it doesn't sound all that great. It's a little low. So we'll let it warm up and come back here shortly. Okay, I let it sit here and idle a little bit. I've revved it up a couple times. Let it get a little warm, and now I'm going to adjust the idle mixture screw. And I've got this tool to do it. And what that allows me to do is that idle mixture screw is mounted on the bottom of the carburetor, and I turn this, and it turns the head down here by these gears. There we go. You heard the idle come up just a little bit then. I backed it out just a little bit. Comes down to idle smoothly. Doesn't have any real hiccups either up or down. Idle speed seems good. I backed it out quite a bit, probably an extra turn, and I started out at 2 turns out, so I don't really want to go any further than that. May do a little bit more, but that sounds pretty good. So, the throttle pickup on it is really good, so I don't need to adjust any of the other adjustments on the carburetor, which is good. Get this tidied up. Cleaned up a little bit, and I want to try to get one video just kind of riding around a little bit, testing it out, and we'll come back to that here shortly. Alright, so now I'm going to do a little test ride around my little field here in the back, make sure that it takes throttle good and rides real well. Not going to do anything crazy, just going to make sure that it rides and runs good. Up with it. As you can see, it runs pretty good. I'll be back here shortly. Well, there you have it. We got the ATV running good. Got the new back tires on it. They work really well. Slide pretty decent. I know I only done a little bit, but I could tell pretty quick that it would slide fairly well and take off, dig really hard, and accelerate quickly. So the tires were a success, the carburetor was a success, got the oil changed for my buddy. So I hope everybody liked this video. It's something a little bit different. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.